What is up, you guys? It's your boy Captain Jack. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here for a multi-day mission over in the Bahamas. You can see this remote, beautiful area. It is so pristine, and there is some untouched areas. I'm excited to do some diving here. The structures here are next level. We've already gone and dove them, so this is the aftermath. So you guys can see this is kind of a wild area, but we're gonna go back to day one where we get out after it. It is some really shallow diving. It's not the crazy deep stuff, so it's actually stuff that you guys can attain, and you'll see that you don't have to go as deep as you think to get some of these quality fish. So let's take a look. I'll see you guys back here afterwards.
Neutral drag.
Welcome underwater and welcome to the voiceover, you guys. Now do me a favor, like this video, subscribe if you enjoy this kind of stuff, and we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna give you everything that goes through my mind and basically explain everything that's happening. Now what you saw there was Victoria. I just turned my GoPro on. Victoria made a drop on a huge hogfish. I didn't really realize how big it was, and once that thing turned sideways and she lined up on it, the spear she was using was a little underpowered, so it kind of like just deflected right off of the fish. She made a drop on it, kind of gave it a little flesh wound, and usually when those fish are hit, they'll go to try to rock up, and I think that's what happened. I followed this fish for a while and it went under this rock. I knew it was under there. I was doing a breathe up on the surface, and sure enough, as I'm about to drop, he comes out of the hole. Luckily he didn't bolt, but it went back into the rock, and now I'm rocking the Hawaiian sling. Normally I do the pole spear, or at least this day I decided to do the Hawaiian sling. And whenever you have close quarter fish like this, I choke up on the spear, grab it, and I use the tension in the bands to kind of almost shoot it like a pole spear. I'm jamming I made a shot in the fish. I know I hit the rock right on the other side of it, so I don't know if the barb went all the way through. So I went ahead and pushed it as far as I could, reached in, wasn't going to be able to pull him out immediately. So I did something that I rarely do, but it's kind of a trick. I bent the spear because it's a spring shaft, and I lodged it in a rock so it was pressing and staying inside of the fish, and that way I can make another drop.
Yeah, I shot him. I'll have to reach in and get him. I lodged my spear, so it's like still pressed into him.
So here's me prepping to make another dive on this thing. Victoria took a quick look and couldn't really see anything. I gave it a little bit more time for the dust to settle. I shut my GoPro off and then I turned it back on, but I make my way down and you're not really able to see anything. And at this point, it's pretty much just I reach in and feel. Now I'm wearing gloves. I'm wearing a wetsuit, so that's one of the main reasons you use those, is because if you're in a situation like this, you're actually able to manage without getting yourself all cut up on the rocks. Now my goal in this situation is to get a hold of the fish. If I can get my hands in its gills, anywhere on the fish where I can get a good solid grip, battle is pretty much won, and I need to work it out of the rocks. And you'll see later along in this video where we do the exact same thing. Finally got a hold of the fish, pulled the spear out with it, able to pull him up on one dive, which is pretty exciting. And this guy is an absolute stud, possibly one of my biggest hogfish yet.
Good one. It's a keeper. When you shot him, I saw your spear just like bounce right off. I feel like I got like sea lice in my wetsuit. I thought you said there were big fish here. You sure? Is that okay? Joe, he's all gutted and killed. On the sling, boy.
So we moved to a shallower area, and you won't believe the grouper that actually stay in some of these rocks. Now, Nicole made a dive, take a look to see if she could see the fish, and I pointed it out to her and Victoria, but unless you got your head like right at the tip of the ledge, you won't be able to see this grouper that's in there. But I swore up and down that this fish was in there. Victoria finally got a dive light and was able to reach in, land a really good shot in this fish, and I swam over to this other hole to make sure the fish didn't like just dart out this side, because if it did, I mean, if it had an escape route, that's where it would be. But I realized that she definitely has a really good shot in the fish, goes up, getting her breath, and we're gonna definitely try to tag team this and make sure we land this fish.
Good job. You all right? Your lips are blue. Yeah, it's all right. We'll get him. Just we'll let the dust settle a little bit. We'll let the dust settle a little bit. Did you make a good shot, or are you not sure? I'm not sure. I saw you just like let it fly.
That's why I like it was like fuck it, I just shot.
Here, I'll see the light. I'll see if I can get in past the dust.
Now this is epic teamwork. Victoria goes ahead, makes a drop, gets a hold of the fish, and she has the fish like, she ends up getting it right on the edge. That's whenever I came and took over, because what you don't want to have happen is somebody make headway on the fish, you run out of air, and then you let go of the fish and it gets way back up into the edge. And this cave went pretty deep. Even the fact that it was at the edge, I still had to work it a little bit to get it out of the hole, because it's insane the spots these groupers fit. And this is a massive, massive Nassau grouper she landed.
Good job.
We decide to hit up a different area, roughly the same depth. It's around between 20 and 30 feet. I tossed out my little throw flasher just blindly in this sandy area, hoping to maybe bring in a fish. And I descend to it. Actually, maybe I didn't throw my, oh yeah, I did. There it is. I picked it up, I clip it back on my belt. Actually, no, I don't think I clipped it on my belt. I just was holding it, did a little grunting, saw one mutton there, and I was like, that's a good sign. But I think that one, a bigger one might have come in. I'm not sure. But with my throw flasher, I went ahead and just put it in my mouth and was holding it in my mouth, because this Hawaiian sling, it takes 2 hands to operate. And you have some good range, but this guy just was slightly out of range. I clipped him, and I was hoping it was enough to clip him and hold on to him, and I was just going to give him a lot of slack. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to hold on to the fish.
Bad shot.
This place we were diving was absolutely incredible. There was dolphins swimming around, there was spotted eagle rays swimming around, and that's what you see here is one of those spotted eagle rays, and they're so beautiful just cruising along the reef. Pretty harmless to humans, so it doesn't really hurt to kind of swim along them, and always nice to see beautiful sea creatures just like this, and it's kind of a rarity. So you see there, we're just all swimming around them, and it was just moments later, here comes this dolphin that's just frolicking around, and it's almost like it's just playing with us and toying with us, and it was doing this for quite a while we were out there spearfishing. We're switching to Victoria's GoPro. She was on it today. I don't know if she saw the fish before, but it was a nice cubera. She landed a really good shot, and it was pretty crazy. That thing was head on, and once she let go of the spear, it turned sideways, and it ended up being like a perfect shot through the gill plate. The only cubera we got all weekend. So now we're meat hunting on this trip, so we're gonna make sure we have plenty of fish to bring home to friends, family, and as well as ourselves. Here's another shot from Victoria's GoPro. She saw this Nassau cruise into this hole, landed a perfect shot right through the eyeball. There was another fish that she threw in the box. And now shortly after she put that fish in, a nice yellowfin grouper came cruising through, and she saw it go in this little crack, and I turned my GoPro on right when this happened, and I actually have a third-person view of this fish popping right out in front of her, and this was her perspective of seeing this fish. She did a good job of not just shooting it on the fly, but this was her from my point of view. She was looking under this cave, and she goes over the top, and you see how this thing just pops out right in front of her to the left. And it was just, she was probably would have shot it if it didn't do that little flicker to the left. But it was good patience, because patience paid out, and you'll see here in just a minute. It's not spooked, which is why I'm like, okay, this fish is potential. I make another drop. I try to maybe call it in, but again, it doesn't get spooked. We don't press it real hard, and we start just kind of following it down this little rock line, knowing that this thing is gonna rock up somewhere. Then we will have an opportunity on it. It worked out perfectly that we followed that fish, because it went into this big cave. Victoria goes in, and again, you can't really see, if you don't have a dive light, you can't really see in the caves unless you stick your head all the way in there. And I think that was right there was when she saw it. So she goes a little farther in, shoots the spear. That's whenever I drop. She was down there for a while, so I'm either there to help take over or help pull her out if she needs any assistance. And I saw her kind of running. I wanted her to fight the fish herself, but I saw her drop the spear. Again, you don't want to give this thing slack, otherwise it would dart back into the cave. And you see me grabbing the fish, handing it to her. Another teamwork, making the dream work here, making sure we land the fish really safely.
That's a good shot.
I saw it both over.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was right behind you when it came out in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, she's gonna pop it, and then it like kind of skedaddled.
She went over the ledge over there, or under the ledge, and then I went, but then they started to come in right afterwards.
This is a prime example. We have Jesse here, followed this grouper into the shallows and literally shot his pole spear with his snorkel out of the water. So that goes to show, and this is one of the biggest fish of the trip. Absolute stud yellowfin grouper, and I love yellowfins. I don't need them too big because of Worry Ciguatera, but this one is like perfect size. I probably wouldn't eat any bigger than this. This thing is gonna be delicious. Here you have me switching back to my pole spear, and this is actually what I use the rest of the trip. So on part 2 of this series, you're gonna see the pole spear in full action. Thing is an absolute beast, and here's a taste. I followed this mutton. He was really chill. I wasn't gonna press him too hard, just waiting for a slight bit of a turn, and the guy turned perfectly, and it really made me miss using this pole spear since I was using the sling the whole first part of this trip. But you can see how effective this thing is, and there's a ton of perks to the pole spear, but I'll get into that on the next episode. You guys, it is the afternoon. We just got done diving, and we're gonna set out for some tuna fishing. Got some incredible content. I'll see you guys out there in the tuna grounds. Victoria's got it. Well, screw this up now. Oh, what is it?
It's a yellowfin. Is it?
Nice.
Give me some slack. Give me some slack.
Nice.
We got a Lolo.
That's awesome.
Good eats. That's sick. Heck yeah. That was a minute 45 fight.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I just got a
Felt like it was 5 hours.
Oh
Good job. That's awesome. Alright, you guys, that was awesome. Thanks for joining me on this trip. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and give me that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I post videos all week. Again, super remote, beautiful locations, and I love taking you guys on these kinds of adventures. Comment below if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next week for another adventure. Later.